This video will contain spoilers. Middle review: Yakuza Like a Dragon. So far, the game is good, but it still isn't like the fucking amazing thing that everyone says it is. I didn't actually watch the video, but I got recommended to me a video talking about how Ichiban is the perfect protagonist, and I'm thinking, how diluted do you have to be to think that? Literally, the only thing I can think of that would make Ichiban good as a protagonist is the fact that he starts off uh, while Kiri is in prison, and then it cuts to after all of the games. So, the player knows a little bit more than Ichiban does, but in the 2 years since Judgment and the 4 years since Yakuza 6, so much has happened. So there still is a level of mystery to it, but literally, other than that, can't think of anything as to why he's perfect. He's not bad. It's just he's too similar to Kiru. So far, the story just seems it's weird how that they have the start with 20 years earlier, 18 years earlier, however fucking long it's been. Honey, clear my throat. You got the first chapter, goes to prison, comes out, um, and then second chapter happens, and you get shot and all that, and then the third chapter happens, and it's like the third chapter is when the story really starts, and I get that obviously they will go back to Camarocho, and there'll be a conclusion to the whole thing of the family defecting to the Omi and what the fuck is going on with the Tojo clan and all that. But it's just it's kind of stupid the way that they've presented it. I don't like it. I don't think it's good storytelling. Um, I don't really have much else to say. Um, I did the business mini game or whatever you want to call it, and I thought, oh, it's kind of similar to Kiryu's business in Yakuza Zero, but you actually have to do stuff. It's not just wait. And I thought, oh shit, this is actually kind of hard because I'm like, I'm not, I'm not losing money, but like one of my businesses is losing like 10K each time. It's only because I have my other businesses that I'm making a profit. I thought, well, shit, I'm gonna have to borrow money. So, I took a loan out of the bank and I spent it on some stuff. And I thought, shit, I'm gonna need to take out another loan. So I went to the investor or whoever the next guy up is, and I spent that money. I was like, shit, I need more money. So I went to the loan shark and I got money. And I spent it all and I realized, yeah, I've got I'm not gonna be able to pay these people back. So that's just the game over. Like I cannot continue unless there's a reset button. But then um when the day ended and it was like you don't have enough money to pay everyone back, so you have to choose who not to pay. And I just chose not to pay all of them. So I made a profit for that day. And then it went to the next board meeting, and that went well. So on the board meetings are easy as well. Did the board meeting, and my rank went up, and I went into the next. Like I hit the goal. So the guy that's like your investor give me like what 50 million, which I used to pay off all the debt, buy more companies and all, and then from then on it was completely easy. Like there was no challenge whatsoever to it. And then by the end, I thought, right, I'm gonna sell these businesses and buy the more expensive ones so that I'm making more of a profit. And I kept on doing that, and then I realized eventually, like, there's no point in doing this because I don't actually earn money from the business. I earn money from the shareholders meetings, and I don't think my pay from that is higher when there's more of a profit. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure, but I think it's just when you do your first meeting, you get like say 50K. Your second meeting, you get 100K, and they have a set amount that you get depending on what meeting it is. So I could be pulling in 1,000,000 yen every run, and they'll give me 2 million at the next meeting, or I can be making 100 million in one run, and they're still going to give me 2 million at the next meeting. So what's the point? I might go back and continue to do all that because I'm slowly running out of money because I upgraded the romance workshop twice. There were a couple of side missions where or sub stories where you needed to spend like 1 million. I died at the sub story where you have that big like vacuum cleaner that you have to fight, and it costs like 4 million to revive myself. I've bought a shit ton of weapons and gear for everyone. I've upgraded like the flaming lumber for Ichiban multiple times. And when it came to like every time Aries' bond went up, I was like, there's no fucking point to this. I'm not going to use Aries. But then you had that bit in the story where Namba leaves, and I thought, well, shit, I'm just going to have to fight with Ichiban, Adachi, and Psycho. But then Eri appeared in the party after, and her attacks were weak as fuck because I never bought any equipment or anything for her. But then after all that, after that fight and all the fights after that, um, I went to I went around all the shops that I knew sold good stuff and bought the best stuff that I can for Eri. And Eri, like, is she's the best person in the party because I've got like a fucking ruler as her weapon, and it's doing like 300 damage. Like all she does, she goes in there, slits a throat, fucks off, and the fight is just over. It's great. Like Psycho fucking sucks. She's terrible. When Namba comes back, I might replace her with him, but I'm not too sure because I don't think he leveled up in between when he left, and I'm in a cutscene right now, so I don't know if he's back yet or not. But I don't think they're gonna like give him an increase. Plus, he's not the best dealer. He's very slightly better than Psycho, but if they don't like scale it and level him up proportionately, then she's probably gonna be better than him. So overall, very enjoyable. It is a Yakuza game after all, but it's not the it's not on the level of Kiwami 2, like everyone says it is. Anyway, The Roses, mixed ratings. I watched it in cinema. Olivia Colman, Benedict Cumberbatch, Kate McKinnon, Andy Samberg, Shitty Gatwa, Zoe Chow. Also, that guy, Jamie Demetrio, I saw him in this film and I thought, is that Walt from the after party? And I looked it up and it is. So, I like that reunion. It is kind of weird that Zoe Shell has appeared in three things that I've seen recently: this, The After Party, and Creature Commandos. I remember Shitty Gatwa's American accent in Masters of the Air being decent. Like, nothing special, but it's not bad by any means. But in this, it just sucks. Like, I would consider the American accent to be like the sort of default accent. Maybe it's just because I watch too much movies, who knows? But I feel like Shitty's accent is basically like non-American accents are just American accents with something on it. I don't I don't know how to describe that something, but basically all Shitty did for his American accent was he got his natural accent, removed some of the stuff but not all of it. So there are some times where his Scottish Rwandan accent does pop up. And I'm just thinking, like, he didn't need to be American. He could have just been himself. But whatever. To be clear, I've never seen The War of the Roses and I've never read the book. Just getting that out there. I loved this film. I thought it was great. I don't know what to say. When did I see this film? Saturday. I'm recording this on Thursday. I genuinely don't know what to say. It's really funny. I'm surprised that they did a dark ending like this because this is an American film. It just coincidentally has three British cast members, but it is American. As like, excuse my, I don't want to call it stuttering, but I apologize for that clusterfuck of words. I'm gonna call this a Toxic Avenger 25. I'm not sure why it says 23 because I'm pretty sure the film was released in America this year and not 2 years ago. It could have something to do with the strikes. I'm not too sure. But Toxic Avenger 25 mixed ratings. I watched it in cinema. Peter Dinklage, Elijah Wood, Kevin Bacon, Jacob Tremblay. Did not know Jane Levy was in the film. To be clear, I have not seen the original. I seen they were releasing this exclusively in Donald and thought I think I've heard something about that film. I'll need to look up a trailer, and I just never did until just before I watched War of the Roses, or the Roses, and I thought, holy shit, this trailer's hilarious. I definitely got to see this film. And when I seen it, I thought I did not know that there was a limit to how like crude a film could be before I start to not like it. This film has the same problem that season 4 of The Boys has, where The Boys never struggled to find its identity. Like, it knew what it was from the very start, but I feel like season 4 was very flawed, but the biggest problem it had, in my opinion, is the fact that it sort of settled into its routine the previous seasons established, and the whole thing is just shock humor, whether it be violent or sexual. Because you had the scene in season 3 where Termite, um, I'm not going to go into the details. If you've seen the show, you'll know what I mean. That was a great scene. But then you had, and there were a couple other things in season 3 and maybe some in season 2 as well. And then in season 4, it just went off the rails because you had uh Rob Benedict's character eating his own ass. You had the whole like BDSM thing and sorry, nipple nose and Tech Knight's cave. It might just be those two, but it's just shock humor, and it's just sort of lost its like appeal because it's happened too much, and this film also kind of suffers with the same problem. All you see in the trailer is that it's very very violent, and it was like this people. I don't know if it's like the producers or whatever, but it's made by the same people who made Terrifier, and the effects in Terrifier are fucking amazing. The effects in this are amazing as well, with like the fact that Toxie just he can go to shake someone's hand and will accidentally tear the whole arm of the guy off. And something similar happened in the film, which was in the trailer, and I thought that that's fucking hilarious. And then there was another scene where he has his mop and he hits like a robber with it, and the mop just like takes his fucking face off because it's toxic. My fucking nose, man. I don't have a cold or anything, but it just keeps on blocking for no reason. Um, that's all you really see in the trailer. And then when it happened in the film, I thought, yeah, that is fucking funny. But then it just kept on going with the shock humor, and it's just like, you know, let me get up a clip here.
One time is funny, two times is fucking annoying, no?
Like the first couple of times where he takes the guy's arm off and he takes the other guy's face off, that were funny. But then you had there was a scene where there was this like punk group that it wasn't intentional, considering this film was made before they got famous. But it just there was a group of like punk rockers who they reminded me of what Kneecap think they are. Um, I'm gonna have to look at that after I finish this. It's probably just a text from like the fucking casino. Because I got texts from my casino, which I haven't been to in over a year. Um, they they're doing a concert and Toxie he sort of crashes the concert and he's fighting them and eventually the people that were at the concert are on Toxie's side. Two women flash him. One guy gets his dick out, and then he kills all the punk rockers. One of them, who he's been in the film the entire time, he wears like a chicken mask. Um, he runs away, but they catch up to him, take him to the ground, tear the mask off, and there's like if you've ever seen Beetlejuice, those people that have the really tiny heads, it's like that. That's what the guy in the chicken mask looks like. And I'm just thinking like that's just random humor. Like that's not funny. And then at the end of the film, um he gets chained up and he pisses on his chains and he has like acid piss so it melts the chains and it's just like once again that shock humor like because you've used it so often it's lost its effect. It's not funny. And when I was walking out after the film had ended, a guy that was sitting in the front row, he was like right behind me as I was exiting, and he asked me, "Oh, what do you think of the film?" I said, "It was okay." He said, "Have you ever seen the originals?" And I said, originals. I thought there was only one original. He said, "Oh no, there's four of them." Um, and those four make this reboot look like a Disney film. I'm going, no way. And he told me that in one of the films, they shoot up a special needs school, and then another one of the films, Toxie gets a girl pregnant with twins, and because the twins have his DNA, like all the toxic shit, they mutate, they get like intelligent and all that while they're in the womb. They, I don't even know if I can say the rest of this fucking scene, so I'm not going to because I don't want to get banned. But like, once again, shock humor. You've used it far too fucking often. It's lost its effect. This is an okay movie. It could be better. And I just want to get one more time so I can get off my chest. Fuck Kneecap. Five Nights at Freddy's the movie. Mixed ratings. I watched it on Netflix with Ginger. Josh Hutcherson, Matthew Lillard. Some guy who used to be an actor, but he decided to quit being an actor. Um, so he could make fucking YouTube videos. And he was already famous before FNAF got out. And then with FNAF he made Fury video after Fury video, and I like, Jesus fucking Christ, I hate this guy. And because he was one of the people that made the game big, they gave him a role in this. And I thought, right, this guy is a professional actor. Yeah, it's been like 15 years since he done it, but hopefully he still knows what he's doing. He's not just gonna be like. My theory of acting is that if you were to get someone who isn't an actor to say something, they're just gonna say it with no sort of effort into it. Like, my voice isn't monotone because I am saying my own words. But if you give someone who isn't an actor a script and ask them to read it out loud, they will just read it out loud. They won't put any sort of emphasis into it because it's not their own words. Even if you just ask someone to say like just a word, there's not going to be any effort into it because it's not their own words. And I thought, because this guy is a professional actor, he's going to know that, and hopefully he will act. And yeah, it wasn't monotone, but like um I just seen the bit where he's like, "That's just a theory." I didn't see the context behind it. Not that I was expecting any. And it's so much worse than I thought because that was just lazily putting in there just so that they could make a joke, and it's not funny. But moving past that 5 second cameo, I try not to talk shit about Hollywood because it happens too often where people just talk shit about it for one reason or another. And yeah, there are a lot of things that it's valid to talk shit about, like the fact that it's full of pedophiles and all that, and it cares more about making a profit than actually making a good film. This being no exception. But I really do have to call Hollywood out for this. Just because something is popular doesn't mean you have to make a movie out of it. Because, yeah, there's a plot to FNAF, but the plot isn't. It's not like deep enough to make a movie out of. It's not even deep enough to make a fucking TV show out of. Like, so they had to add stuff to it. And I thought, maybe the stuff that they'll add will be somewhat interesting. It's not. Josh Hutcherson has the same dream over and over and over again, and it's so fucking boring. I seen a meme from that clip of the dream. I didn't realize it was from FNAF. But like, it was just him running after his brother, shouting the brother's name out. Brother's name is Garrett, and someone had uploaded it with the caption like, "When someone asked me what my least favorite food is, I didn't know that was from FNAF." Because that's all they really add to the film that the games didn't have. There's not really anything else to say. I thought that Matthew Lillard would have more screen time, but it's literally just two scenes. Um, Overall, I was expecting the film to sort of lose the color. Um, like I fucking despise FNAF. I always have. But something that I appreciate about it is the fact that it's a horror game, but it's very bright and colorful and child. Like I like that juxtaposition. And I thought Hollywood movie, they're gonna get rid of the color. They didn't. It's very bright and colorful movie, even though it does kind of seem like a corridor digital video, which get the fuck out of here. This is a Hollywood movie, not a YouTube video. Um, I thought even though like I'll still not enjoy the film, but maybe there'll be things about it that I will enjoy. Like at least I'll be entertained. I wasn't. The film is boring. It sucks. Fuck Scott Cawthon. Fuck Matthew Patrick. Fuck Markiplier. And this Corey X Kenshin guy, I don't know who the fuck he is, but Berlizzi is better. The Conjuring, universally positive ratings, directed by James Wan. I watched it on Netflix with Ginger and Dylan. Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, Joey King, Mackenzie Foy, Lorraine Warren, Ron Livingston, Haley McFarland. Linda Cardellini is not in this. Miranda Otto is not in this. Robin Atkins, I doubt, is in this. Raymond Cruz is not in this. I was born in 2004. My history with the Conjuring franchise is that I was not aware of its existence when it came out. I was aware of Annabelle when it came out. I had seen literally fucking nothing from the film other than like the poster, and I was terrified of it. I had nightmares and all. Um, and then I grew up and I found out about the Conjuring. I found out about like the nun and all that, and the connection between all of them. And then when I seen Saw, I thought, right, I know James went on to direct Insidious and The Conjuring. Maybe I should give those two a go, especially Insidious. I've heard that is really scary. Um, and it wasn't until a week ago, I think it was, maybe 2 weeks ago, that because Last Rites is coming out pretty soon, I say pretty soon, it's literally coming out tomorrow. We were like, right, me nor Dylan have seen any of the films, nor Annabelle, nor The Nun. Um, Last Rites looks scary, and we were like, right, we should watch the first film first. Uh, and Ginger was like, "This is the best film in the series. It's not scary." And we watched it, and I'll be honest, I looked away sometimes. Like I don't know how many films I seen last year, but out of all the horror films I seen, I looked away from two of them. Three, if you count Terrifier 1. And, like, I respect the hell out of Terrifier 1, the First Omen, and Late Night with the Devil, because they were really fucking scary. Excuse me. But now I I've been looking away from quite a few horror films, and I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. So after the film ended, I thought to myself, right, I need to not look away from horror films. Next horror film I watch, I need to keep my eyes glued on the screen. I can look away from the the thing that is scary as long as I'm still looking at the screen. I think that'll be fine. But if I close my eyes or actually take my gaze away from the screen, I am a fucking pussy. Um, but back to this film. Maybe it's because we were watching it on Netflix, which means that we're not giving it all our attention. We're joking around and all that. But I didn't really enjoy this. It was okay. I find it weird that they sort of de-aged everyone. Like, it's one thing to de-age Ed and Lorraine because it doesn't really affect anything, but the fact that they made Judy like 10 in this film when in real life Judy Warren was like 30 something when the events of Amityville happened. It like yeah, there's a story reason for it, but it's weird. It's kind of hard to talk about the film because really everything I have to say about the film, I'm going to talk about it in my The Conjuring 2 review. Universally positive ratings. I seen it in cinema. Directed by James Wan. Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson. Okay, so Robin Atkin. I had a feeling that Robin Atkin Downs was going to be in this. Joey King isn't in it. David Thewlis isn't in it. Um, I don't know if it's a case of this is just a better film or it's because I've seen it in cinema, but I enjoyed this a hell of a lot more than I enjoyed the first film, and this is the film where I was thinking I need to keep my eyes glued on the screen, and I did. I did that successfully. There were a couple times where I wanted to look away, especially when the nun was on screen, but I didn't. So hooray for me. Um, this film is too similar to the first one for my taste. Like, it's basically the same film, but the color palette is different. The first film is sort of desaturated like Man of Steel, and this film is sort of desaturated like Man of Steel, but they've put a blue filter on it. When it takes place in England, like that's basically it. I know I said that um all the stuff I could talk about in the first film was going to wait until this review to do it, but now that I think about it, I don't know what to talk about. Do I believe Ed and Laurie and Warren? No, I don't. I don't believe that demons and all exist. But whether it's a case of they're just cons or they genuinely believe it themselves, I don't know. Um, the film, most of the jump scares weren't scary, but there were a few that it made me and it made there was a couple sitting next to me that jumped, and we were like in sync. It was weird. Speaking of that couple, I overheard the girlfriend talking to the boyfriend about the first time that you see the nun, you see her name because there's a bookshelf and the bookshelf has like a bunch of random letters on them, and the girlfriend and the boyfriend said, "That's the nun's name." Like, it's my fault for listening in. Like, it wasn't like a intentional thing. It was just a little too loud. But it did kind of like ruin the thing for me. Well, I not really because nah, whatever. I feel like 99% of this video has just been me rambling. I apologize for that. There should be at least 2 cinema reviews coming soon because I'm going to go see 2 films today, and then tomorrow. The only new film I know that's coming out is Conjuring 4, but I don't know if people want to see that with me, so I'm gonna wait. In the meantime, they're re-releasing a bunch of old films. They're re-releasing Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction, Matrix, Shrek, Shawshank Redemption, Alien, and La La Land. I think that's everything. I want to go see all of them, but it's a case of whether or not I'm working because they're playing Goodfellas, La La Land, and I think Shawshank tomorrow. I'm hoping to go see all 3 of those. And then I'm working Saturday. On Saturday they're playing, I think, Shrek, Matrix, and Pulp Fiction. And then Sunday they're playing another 3, and then Monday, I don't know if I'm working Monday or not because my rota hasn't come in. I know I'm working Saturday and Sunday, but Monday onwards they're gonna mix it up. They'll play like one Saturday film, one Friday film, one Sunday film, and they just mix it up. There is another film I can think of that I'm not gonna name that I want to see that's coming out tomorrow, and it's like a new film. But I'm gonna wait on that as well because it's a new film. There's gonna be more time to watch it than there is with the movie marathon, as they're calling it. There's not gonna be any reviews for the movie marathon films because I've seen all of them. There is another film that's currently out that I wanted to watch last night, but Dylan told me that he wants to watch it as well, only for the fact that there is a particularly not that good looking woman in the film who, in the trailer, you see her in her pants. And literally that's it. Like, there might not even be a fucking sex scene. He literally just wants to see her ass. So, I'm gonna have to wait for that as well because I asked him if he was free today and he said no. I asked him if he was free tomorrow and he said no. And I said, right, well, I'm working Saturday and Sunday and I don't know about Monday onwards because I've yet to get my rota. So, I will let you know when I know.